They both pull back and they go back to talking about whatever they're talking about. It's charming. The other kiss that I was there for was the Alex Izzy kiss.
Yeah.
Which was really important to me because I wanted it to be really earned in terms of Alex's pain, which I felt was, I mean, he did a beautiful job. I've never seen anybody cry and kiss and kiss. I mean, it's just beautiful. On top of which, I wanted to make sure that the kiss felt heartbreaking. Like, with Meredith and Derek, you want it to feel hopeful and like a new day. And with Alex and Izzy, you want that kiss to feel heartbreaking. And with George and Lexi, you know, it's a peck on the lips, but for her it has all the import in the world. And we wanted to really make sure that you got the power of it for her while getting the casualness of it for him. With the Chief and Adele, which was one of my favorites, because if you notice, there's a cut, you cut back to them and they're kissing, and he's like constantly sort of pulling her in, like he's trying to almost like enfold himself into her in this really sweet, adorable, I love my wife way, which I thought was wonderful.
That's like a kiss of total joyous contentment.
Yeah, it was they had very sweet kissing. It was adorable. And then Callie and Erica, who had to kiss for real, for both of them, was something that they'd never kissed girls on screen before, I don't think. And both of them were worried about getting it right and making it look good and also being really true to their characters and making sure that it felt romantic. But they're both very sort of technical, smart actresses, and they talked about it a lot beforehand. And then, like, you could watch the dailies and sort of watch them talking about it in the middle, sort of like, was that good for you? Was that, like, they were really trying to make sure that it felt romantic. And also, for Callie's character, especially, what you know about her is that this is not something she's used to or sure she's ready to do, but she's making this big leap. So you also wanted to feel both the passion and the fear involved in making such a leap, and then watch that turn to something else, which I love the moment when Erica puts her hands up to Callie's face and sort of pulls back, and for a second you think, oh dear, and then she leans in and kisses her again. It's really charming.
The other thing probably that a lot of people are, certainly is something that has been discussed with people that I know since we saw the episode, is the last moment in which actually Derek walks away and he says, stay here, don't move, I'll be back. And
stay here, don't move, wait for me.
Thank you. You can tell that she wrote it, and I just watched it a few times. See, that's the big difference. I could really make it sound stupid. What I love about the end is it's not the obvious romantic quote unquote end.
There was a lot of pressure from a lot of sides, including in the writers' room, that maybe we should just end on them kissing, end on them kissing, end on them kissing. And I was like, that's not the point. The point of the episode, the 2 hours, is not that Meredith gets her man. The point of the episode to me was that Meredith standing in that field alone, and she has a slightly sort of freaked out expression on her face, which is, I've done the thing that I've been most scared to do, what happens next? But also, for me, her standing in that field alone, sort of whole, in this field of candles that she's built, after he's gone away to do the right thing, when everything is sort of said and done, to me, she is free. Like, and I felt like I wasn't going to get the same grown-up idea of her being free if we'd ended on just them kissing. Because freedom is not the kiss. Freedom is what happens after.
Well, I think that's actually really well put. And I also think there were a couple of people that said to me, that Derek walks away. And my whole thing was like, it's really, really important that Derek walks away, because so much of what Derek's been about and her lack of faith in him was about not doing the right thing and about kissing Rose and about having a wife he didn't talk about. And he does the most amazingly straightforward thing a man can do, which is he looks at her and says, basically, I want to do more, but I can't do more until it's clean.
To be clean. And what I love about it, about that whole idea, is that we've watched Meredith, really grow in these past 6 episodes. I mean, really sort of struggle through her demons and grow. And you want to feel like Derek has grown as well, because he's not blameless. As we've said before, there's nothing blameless about Derek in all of this. And he definitely takes a journey of his own throughout the episode, but we see less of it because we're sort of with Meredith for most of her journey. So we see less of his journey. And for me to really believe that this was going to be Meredith and Derek getting together for good, I needed to know that he was going to go do the right thing with Rose.
Especially after the fact that he loses faith about half, 3/4 of the way through the episode. He loses faith in himself, and it's that amazing moment with Rose where he says, nothing I do will ever will ever be good enough. I think it's so much about actually him coming back to the spirit of the episode before, where she's fully pessimistic and he's very romantic. And Derek in his soul is very romantic.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
he's an optimist. Yeah.
But failing at something for the first time, I think as a character, was incredibly difficult for him. And getting through that and moving through that and seeing that Meredith is still there, I think is transformative.
Yeah, absolutely. And so for those of you who watched and thought, like, oh, now they're going to do something crazy, Derek is not going to be hit by a bus and thus forget that Meredith